Good morning, everybody. This is COOLA from Raw Stocks. We are going to take a look at some of the data today. Yesterday, we kind of anticipated some type of pull down or chop, and we did get that, um, but it was only after kind of seeing it just roll over multiple times. And then now we're seeing it push into 598. SPY pushes into 598 as we're kind of sitting here chatting. So let's take a look and see what's going on. 7:30 data popped, and then it's the trade balance, refis, unemployment claims. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There might be something else in regards to something else going on right now, but we're seeing a jump in the pre-market right now. So sitting right here at 597.80. So we had a decent day yesterday. For the Discord, we had plenty of gains. Looking at today, what is it that we're to do? Right. So shout out to our sponsors, Gamma Edge and Black Box Stocks. I'm gonna go over this kind of fast. Okay, I don't have a ton of time today. So looking at SPY today, we can see that their data shows us that 598 and 597 are virtually a pivot point for us. So if we get over the top of 598, you bet your butt that we're going to get cruising. So let's take a look at this. Maybe 597 to 593 is our range right here. I'm going to say 598 though, because that's not really relevant. 597 to 593. Is that right? I know it says 597, but they're neck and neck. So we're going to leave it at that. 597. So over the top of this, we could get a squeeze. And the squeeze could come in the sense of the direct, just very much directional, very much at 600 or even surpass that. Okay. Because right now, 59, we're virtually at 6,000 on SPY, on SPX. So we get the press over the top of that. Let's take a look at what the data says on SPX. Let's see if there's some confluence here or what. Okay, so big. It looks like Mr. IC's here, playing between 6,000 and 5,950. Pretty decent size position here, and looking to see him bounce between the two. So this will be very interesting. Very interesting. So virtually, a big whale is betting between these two, and generally speaking, that's what we see. So let's mark this out real quick. If he loses, he doubles down. 6,000 to 5,950, I think is what it was. Is that what it was, guys? 5,950. Okay. So data showing our range here. We're very much we're call dominated, not very much, but call dominated gamma conditions. So we're kind of getting towards that area. This is where I talked about volatility getting cheap. Okay, volatility is getting cheap. But we are right here on the top side of this range here, guys. So be very careful as we open that we don't see this thing drain. Okay. If it's me, I think I'm going to, look at, I've had a limit buy order on some volatility, looking to see if that thing will open and see if we get this thing to sell down a little bit. I'm betting more so that before we exceed and break our range and continue to press over this, I find it more likely that we will retest some lows in here and test the bottom of this. I do not see us surpassing 6,000 on any type of squeeze. I know everything says it's bullish, but I don't believe that to be the case today. If it is, then fine. Watch for it to test the 6,000 range, and then even test this previous high range. And then if we see it hold and we see it go through this, then I think you need to be watching for some type of press above that. Sure. I think it's more than likely that we see a fake breakout here and this thing rolls over and we see a larger pullback before we make some type of further expansion. That's just my opinion at this point. Let's take a look at NVIDIA real quick. Okay, NVIDIA is sitting at 141.71.
Not hearing anything.
Oh, it'll be on the recording, but it is I'm not going to backtrack just yet. I forgot to unmute my Discord. Okay, so trying to remember where I was. Okay, NVIDIA. Currently, yesterday we kind of talked about it, kind of getting sapped right around this area, looking at this resistance in the top of this range, and then seeing some type of sell down, right? Well, we got something similar to that. Let's take a look at the data real quick. Data for this week is 145 to 135. It remains unchanged, but I do see 135 growing a little bit, but nothing really that stands out unless you got below 140. And we're sitting above 140. We've held 140 multiple times on the test from yesterday. Will we get that press into 145 today? I think this is a good little insight for us, right? We see that this has the opportunity to try to press into that 145 range, but I'm calling for the indexes to kind of press up and then get a pull down. So we'll see if there's some confluence between maybe a press towards this one or resistance area and see if it wants to sell down and kind of settle near this 140 range, or if it wants to maintain this and maybe even pop through this. And then my theory about containment is incorrect and we see it get a squeeze for the bullish side. All right, let's take a look at Tesla real quick. Tesla talked about how I didn't like the price action, how everything looked weak, right? We looked at Tesla on here and we said, well, looked a little weak. We saw the close from the previous day, a little inverted hammer here. We're seeing this thing try to we're close under our daily 4. Then what do you know? We got a big close, and then actually closed below our daily 20. So as of right now, kind of sitting at 332. Will that continue to test below this? I think it's probably more likely if we see a rejection off of this 330 area, which it'll probably go and test. I think it's more than likely that you do find it testing into this 200 in this 50 area. But let's take a look at what data is telling us. So full complex, you're looking at very much call dominated still, 320 being the floor here. Pretty good sizable shorts here. Put dominated in the small time frame. For this week, it looks like 325 and 320 are your big draws here. And we're getting relatively close, or we're right there. Are we right there? Yeah, we're right there. So to see this thing get underneath some of these levels like 320 would be substantial. You know, and then you can start seeing some areas where it just starts getting stacked on, and that's where 300 could come in pretty quickly. Start seeing it grow. You can already see there's speculation here. 15,000 open interest into the end of the week here, and then start looking at the next week. You're looking at 136,000, but there's just as many calls right here. So let's keep an eye. Let's keep on 320 holding on Tesla. It's kind of what it's looking like. 320 to 350 is our range. So let's shrink the top to, and then lower the floor. Okay, so we're near low of the range, right? So let's see if we want to hold this area. Let's see if we get a nice area of hold here. And then we'll see if it wants to retest into this 330 and 335 area. But this is definitely, for me, you want to see some type of 5-minute to 15-minute close that's holding 320. It can go down there and swipe, but if you see it or close up in this range, I think it gives you confidence to look for this thing to return and retest to some of these potential levels here. So keep an eye on this. This is probably a decent opportunity for you. But know that based on what we're seeing here, we could see this thing continue to slide if we start to lose things like 320, looking for those gap closes down there and revisit some of those moving averages. All right, so looking into this for just one more second. Yeah. Keep an eye on this very closely. So, all right, y'all. I think it's interesting to look at this market today and say, hey, what are we doing? But I wouldn't get too carried away. Like I said, might be mindful of the ranges that we talked about. And if it is something where we start to get outside those ranges, then that's realistically where you can start seeing some of those squeezes and maybe see some more directional type of movement. So guys, thanks for tuning in. Sorry we had an issue with the live Discord. I didn't click the unmute button on there for me, but you will be able to catch the recording part of that, and I will put that out to the premium channel today, so you're able to see that immediately. And then if you're not part of our premium, then that will get released on our X and YouTube channels. So thanks everybody, appreciate it. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. Catch you later.